Hey guys, it's Gedkito122. Before we get started with today's video, I wanted to bring attention to a specific thing that has come up. Finally, someone has recommended a nickname for one of the Pokemon that I have captured, and I would like to take a minute to give a nickname to a particular Pokemon that we have obtained. So we need to talk to the name rater here. Hello, I'm official name rater. Want me to rate the nicknames of your Pokemon? Yes, I do. So the Pokemon that we are going to be nicknaming today is Slugma. Slugma was given a nickname suggestion by Minor Mole, and Minor Mole suggested that we nickname this Slugma Sigma to kind of give a better name that, one, kind of takes Slugma in a different direction from the obvious joke, but also to make up for the hilarious nickname that I gave his Slugma during his live stream series of his Nuzlocke of Pokemon Soul Silver. So there you go, Minor Mole. There is Sigma, the Slugma. Now, on to the video. Hello everybody, my name is Gedkito122 and welcome back to Pokemon Fire Red. Last time, we traveled to the northern sections of Sevii Island, finding a handful of trainers and catching a few new bug Pokemon along the way, including the almighty Heracross. We also traveled to a cave that unfortunately does not serve any purpose because Game Freak never bothered to give it any purpose. But this time, we're gonna accomplish more positive things. This time we are going to be traveling to Sevii Island, as now we have both the passwords necessary to access the Rocket Warehouse. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So we're gonna go on to our little boat here, and we are finally gonna go to Sevii Island. And we're back to this music. Now, Sevii Island here may not seem like much at first, because there really isn't a lot on the surface. In fact, there isn't even a Pokemon on this specific island. But trust me, we are going to be here for a little while. So let's talk to some of the locals first before we get down to business. Oh, this stinks. I wanted to play in the meadow, but they put up a weird building on it, so I can't play there. Interesting. I assume they being Team Rocket. Sevii Island, Chrono Island, where time goes. Interesting. Talking about time here. What do you have to say, old man? Excuse me! Excuse me! That meadow has belonged to our family for generations. I should have had a giant mansion built on it. It would be preferable to having those thugs run wild on it. Fair enough, I shall run those thugs out of here for you in due time. But I must address all matters on this tiny little town. What do you have to say, lady? Don't worry about buying anything for dinner tonight. That's what my husband said when he went off fishing today. I'm not sure if I can count on him to live up to that promise. Oof. That is some oofage energy if I've ever seen it. I assume you are the husband. It's been getting busier on these parts lately. I haven't been catching many good fish lately either. Wonder what's been making it busy. It's not like there's a whole lot going on here. Well, like I said, there isn't a whole lot to this actual town, so we're just going to get right into the thick of it. And now we find ourselves in Sevii Isle Meadow. And before we go exploring Sevii Isle Meadow, guess what? There's one new Pokemon that we need to talk about. And it's actually kind of interesting the way that this Pokemon works, but let's get into it properly. Our new Pokemon that we can find here is Hoppip. Now, Hoppip is another case of a Johto Pokemon that has a relatively unique type combination in the form of a flying grass type. We've seen these two types kind of go against each other as we've progressed through the game, but this is the first case of this type combination actually coming together. And because it functions as both a grass type and a flying type, Hoppip works a little bit differently in terms of wild encounters, because normally, when it comes to Pokemon that you can encounter, you can either only encounter them in the grass or in the water, or in some cases by using the Super Rod. But in the case of Hoppip, you can actually find Hoppip in both the grass and floating above the water. It's a really interesting case with Hoppip. The nice thing about Hoppip and its evolution, which eventually goes from Hoppip to Skiploom to then Jumpluff, is that this particular line is all about speed. It starts off with really good speed and it ends up with exceptional speed. Earnestly really good. Which makes Hoppip kind of a big departure from the rest of its predecessors. Because a lot of other grass-type Pokemon tend to kind of focus on one specific strategy, which is absorbing HP, inflicting status ailments, and having kind of the bulk and defenses to compensate for a lack of speed. In this case, Jumpluff doesn't really have much in terms of offensive or defensive capabilities. Its offensive stats are lacking even when fully evolved, and while it does have decent special defense, its physical defense is relatively average. But the ability to set up all of these different stats conditions, Leech Seed, Poison Powder, Stun Spore, and being able to do that first makes Hoppip kind of good for those reasons. That said, even though Hoppip does function well as a really fast grass type because of that, as a flying type, it's not particularly great. It doesn't learn any flying type moves through level up. The only flying type move it can actually learn through TM is Aerial Ace. Yes, it can't even learn Fly. So this is one of those cases where if you want to have a really fast Pokemon that is able to set its stats conditions on your opponent, this is definitely the Pokemon for you. But if you want something more offensively or defensively viable, then you might want to look elsewhere. Still, it's not the worst thing in the world. And now that we've gotten that taken care of, let's actually start exploring this area. And it looks like we have some Team Rocket grunts to fight. But first, we gotta get ourselves a little Hoppip. Very excellent timing, Hoppip. Thank you for cooperating with the Let's Play. And like that, Hoppip has been caught. Very quick success. Very indicative of its speed. Hoppip, the cottonweed Pokemon. Its body is so light, it must grip the ground firmly with its feet to keep from being blown away. What a very lighthearted existence. As always, if you'd like to give Hoppip a nickname, please feel free to do so in the comments. Alright, now that we've gotten that little doodah taken care of, what do you say, guy? Oh! This area is strictly off limits. Ouch! Ouch! I don't think so, my guy. Nothing particularly noteworthy about this Team Rocket grunt, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Is this for real?
You for real?
Oh my god. Can't believe I have to bring that back now. What's kind of crazy to me is that some of the Pokemon, God bless, some of the wild Pokemon that we encounter here are really, like, low-leveled if they're Johto Pokemon, but if they're Cantonian Pokemon, they're actually decently high-leveled. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so this is one of our first cases of a proper female Team Rocket grunt. We didn't really see those during the main story, but they're here now. You'd be wasting time even if you were to get by me. Well, I don't think so. I'd like to think I'm entertaining enough to where I'm not wasting everyone's time. But yeah, proper female Team Rocket grunts. Good on you, game. Getting progressive with the Team Rocket grunts right before I disband their final operation in the boonies. And Searcher grew to level 59. Definitely want to consider taking the Experimenter off him. Oh, that makes me furious. Well, makes me happy that you're here. Anything else to add before we walk away? You won't be able to get in without the passwords anyway. Well, about that. Now, before we actually try to get in, that's on me. I want to actually go over here, because I believe there is another item that we can find right up here. And we got a Pipia. Very useful. All right, we have one more Team Rocket grunt that we need to fight here. It's unavoidable, so let's just move forward. There's nothing past here except our warehouse. So what brings you here? Oh, you know, just, yeah, took down your boss. You guys are criminals. You guys are reducing the town just down the road to nothing. And also, you stole my which, I don't care for. It's one thing when you steal others' property, but when you steal mine, that's when it becomes my problem. To the surprise of absolutely no one, in the one opportunity that he got to get a hit on me, he poisoned me. That wasn't supposed to happen. What do you have to say? You're wanting to know what's inside this warehouse? It's better you didn't know. For your own sake, I mean. Yeah, I doubt that. Alright, let's head on in now, and let's see if we can't get in here. Griffin entered 2 passwords. Goldie need log and yes, nah, chancy. The warehouse's door opened. Welcome to the Rocket Warehouse. This is our last Team Rocket location in the game, and this is where the final remnants of Team Rocket can be found. There's a lot of our spinny tile friends here, so we're gonna make our way through this maze and take every last one of the Team Rocket members that are left down. Let's do it! Need to be very conscientious of where we go. I'm not as familiar with this specific area as I should be, so there's a little bit of trial and error, but of course you'll only see the successes. Like this. Found 1 upgrade. This is a held item that we can give to Porygon, and if we were to trade Porygon away and then trade it back, Porygon would end up evolving into Porygon 2 with the upgrade. Porygon Z is not available in this game, but that's how you would get Porygon 2. Now then, who's next? Oh, now your Pokemon look strong. You're willing to sell them? Oh, you wanted to battle? Yeah, I don't think you realize who I am, lady. But I'm about to educate you. So she has a Houndour. I believe this is the first case of us seeing a proper Houndour in battle. And technically, canonically, this is the first time Team Rocket grunts are seen being used Houndour. But we do know, based on Gold and Silver, and subsequently Heart Gold and Soul Silver, that they do use Houndour and its evolved form Houndoom. I'd go over it, except that we firmly established in the last episode that we cannot catch this Pokemon. So I'm just gonna let Gullywash do his thing and wash away all the bad memories. Alright, thank you, Gullywash. Oh, but too much. We can give you a great price. Sell us your Pokemon. Well, that's a okay pitch, but I prefer to keep my Pokemon. At least Gullywash. Okay. There's this grunt here. Let's take care of him real quick. Did you come here knowing it's Team Rocket's warehouse? Well, you have your logo on the door. I mean, come on, guy. What do you think you're doing? Cutting out the entire battle and making your efforts pointless? All he had was a couple of Machops and a Machoke, so nothing particularly noteworthy here, unlike the previous trainer with her Houndours. Alright, well, like I said, a little bit of trial and error, but our trials have brought us a big pearl. So now we can sell the big pearl, so that way we can make money. Ooh. Try this one. Ah, here we go. And that gets us another pearl. Nice. There we go. And then just need to very carefully step up this way, making sure not to touch anything, and come up here. We can get this. TM36, Sludge Bomb. Arguably the best poison type move in the game, so definitely worth the effort. We'll go here, and that leads us to our next guy, which I believe I want a different Pokemon out for this. Let's do it. I got worried about you from the others, but there's no way a kid like you'd know our boss Giovanni. Well, it's funny you mention that, my guy, because I trounced his... Well, I won't say what exactly it is I trounced, but I trounced him. Trounced him good. Oh boy. Hypno just used Psych Up, which means he copied Ragna's sword stance. Fortunately, Fury Cutter eliminated him very quickly. And if I'm right, this next Fury Cutter should do the job in one shot. Yeah, it does. Doubles with every hit. Excellent. Ragna grew to level 58. Beautiful. Oh, and Rock Lee grew to level 57. Even better. Don't you dare laugh. Okay, looks like we have one more rocket to deal with here. All right, let's do this one. I don't know or care if what I'm doing is right or wrong. I just put my faith in Giovanni and do as I am told. That is totally fair. Now, I'm actually going to leave this battle uncut because this is actually technically a Team Rocket admin. And she's going to be starting out with Muck. I don't have information on Muck's moveset, but what is most interesting is that there are two Rocket admins in this particular building. And while there is nothing explicitly stated, it is implied that this might be the Rocket executive Ariana from Gold and Silver or Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And that is actually pretty cool that they have these little nods to potential Rocket executives that come up later. Now, it does raise a few concerns, mostly because it is never officially stated what the age of the Team Rocket grunts or admins are, and they don't look any different from the normal grunts. So, if this is Ariana, and if everything that we've established about Ariana and Giovanni is true, then, yeah, we really need clarification on how old the average Team Rocket grunt is, because it's never stated. At least not with respect to this game. But let's focus on that. Let's focus on the other illegal activities that they're doing, like using Pokémon for exploitive needs. Oh, and of course, Foulplum uses Stun Spore. Ooh, Giga Drain. That actually recovered a decent little chunk of HP. Oh, come on, Kaiser. You got this. We just need to get in one good shot of Ice Beam. We'll be okay. There we go, Kaiser. Yeah, one shot. That's what we like to see. Definitely not two shots. Anyway, I'm shattered. Got a decent little chunk of change for that. You're doing things according to your beliefs and morals. I understand now. I made it so you can come back in through here. Why don't you go and get rested and refresh what lies ahead? The admin after me outranks me thoroughly as a trainer. You better steel yourself for one harsh challenge. Nah, I'm good. But I will go ahead and switch out my Pokemon here. I think Kaiser's been through enough today. Alright, let's talk to this admin. That's quite enough of you playing the hero, kid. Spreading lies about how Team Rocket has disbanded. It's such an obvious attempt to cause confusion in our ranks. Fortunately, we're not so ignorant to fall for the lies of a child. And now, I'll show you how scary an angry adult can be. Or how scary an angry adult can be. Alright, so this is the other Team Rocket admin, and like Ariana, it is implied that this is the Rocket executive Archer from Gold, Silver, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Again, it's strictly kind of based on information that we get from his team, so there isn't anything explicitly stated, but I do love these subtle hints that these guys may be the Rocket executives that we fight later in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They're sending out Weezing. I think I'll go ahead and keep Raitoshi in for this one. And Ariana was not kidding around. This guy actually has pretty decently high level Pokemon, at least relative to my Pokemon. So I do need to be careful. Let me guess, you're gonna poison me, right? Yep, you poisoned me. You sure did. Because literally any chance you can poison me, it happens. It's absolutely ridiculous. But whatever, that's totally fine. We get exactly 1,000 experience points. And his last Pokemon is Houndoom. So as always, we gotta finish this with the king. And Houndoom, level 55. So this is Houndour's evolved form. This is another mix of fire and actual dark type. So this is another dark type that we would have been able to get had we been able to catch Houndoom or Houndour before. But we can't, and that's totally fine. Oh, he's actually using items too. Relatively clever, my guy, but you think that's gonna matter to the king of Gullywashin? It absolutely does not. Simply a low damage roll. You merely were lucky to endure one blow from Gullywashed. Because as always, all enemies get Gullywashed. And Gullywashed is leveled up to level 58. Excellent. You have defeated Archer. Ugh, you were too strong. That's Giovanni's badge. So it's true? Team Rocket really has disbanded? We will abandon this warehouse. But don't think this is over. I won't let this be the end. I will find Giovanni, and I will resurrect Team Rocket. I will. Until then, farewell. That is the one little bit of text that actually does kind of point in the direction of him being Archer. Should be relatively fair. There is one last matter that we need to take care of while we're in the warehouse, and that is getting our flipping Saphire back. You! I almost managed to sell the Saphire for huge money. Then you just had to come along and blow the whole deal apart. F you. There's no forgiveness for you. Yeah, buddy, get in line. So we have now dealing with Scientist Gideon, the man who has stolen our Saphire. We have to defeat him in order to get it back, so we're just going to take him out with Kaiser. And maybe another Pokemon that we have in the party. Rock Lee has had very little time to shine in these post-game videos, and frankly, he didn't do a whole lot while we were in the Indigo League. So I think it's time that we finally give Rock Lee a shot. He has Porygon, and it's relatively rare to actually see a Porygon straight up, or at least in most cases, but for a scientist, it's not the most uncommon thing in the world. So there you go, there's your little Porygon cameo for the day. We have talked about Porygon in extensive detail before. And we're going to do high jump kick and hope that will deal with Rock Lee effectively. I mean, we'll be able to Electrode effectively. What am I talking about? And like that, Rock Lee has grown to level 58 as well. That is beautiful. The rest of his team is not going to be any more difficult because all he has left is a Magnemite and a Magneton. So Rock Lee has got this. There's one. There's two. Not nearly as difficult as Archer was, so if you were able to get past Archer, you shouldn't have any trouble with Gideon. Gah! Darn! Man, he is really getting close to saying swear words with everything he says. Never quite there. Oh well, we got actually a decent bit of money from him. If I can't sell it, it's worthless. Go on, take it. We obtained the Saphire. It's ours, baby. So that takes care of our business here, so I think I'm gonna head back to the Pokemon Center, and we're gonna call it a day. We've taken out Team Rocket at long last. Alright, I think that's gonna do it for this particular episode. We've traveled to 5 Island with the 2 passwords we had in hand. We entered the Rocket Warehouse, and we took all their treasures and shut down the final operation of Team Rocket. Or at least seemingly for the time being. There may be a chance that Team Rocket will appear in the future, well, of the world, but at least as far as this game is concerned, that is the proper end of Team Rocket. So next time on Pokemon Fire Red, we're going to explore more of the area around 5 Island, as there is significantly more to do here than one might initially think. So I'll see you guys next time.